My name is Kinshasha Medina, and I've been working in the Washington Parish District Attorney's Office since February of 2016. I am the first victim advocate dedicated to the victims of Washington Parish. When I receive notification about a domestic violence case, I first look for the victim's information to try to get in contact with them because they are my priority. I use law enforcement to find victims if they don't have a Lavins form filled out. And I go to the arresting agency to see if there's a Lavins form available. If not, I have our investigators in our office use the locate system to try to find victims. A Lavins form is I think a triplicated form that victims fill out, which has the offender's information on it, as well as the victim's information on it, so they can be notified when the defendant is moved or released from custody. When people think about domestic violence, they usually think of it as just intimate relationships only. However, domestic violence can occur between a mother and a child, a son and a father, or anybody who has an established relationship. The most memorable case that stands out to me regarding domestic violence is a son who actually murdered his mother. Um, she was recovering from a surgery and had access to her debit card and her car for running errands. And one night he was wanting some drugs and approached his mother for money, and she turned him down. And when she turned him down, he proceeded to shoot her, and then he set the house on fire. And while he was on the phone with 911, you could actually hear mom in the background moaning, gasping for air. And I think that case will always stick with me. There was one other son who had never heard the 911 tape. And on the 911 tape, the defendant referred to their mother as a, and I had to jump up in front of him and stop him from getting to the defendant at that particular time. And it was so devastating and heartbreaking because he had never heard that before or heard his mother referred to in that manner. So this is a case that I will never forget. So what I did with the other surviving son was I was there with him through the whole process of the criminal justice system. He lived out of state, so I communicated with him regularly through phone calls and, of course, letters that I sent out letting him know that the case was on the docket. Whenever he called in, I would always inform him of the case status, whether it was a pretrial hearing, a sanity hearing, whatever was going on, I always let him know. So when he came down for trial, we tried to prepare him for some of the things that he may see and hear during the course of the trial. You can always tell a person and try to prepare them, but raw emotions take over. And I'm glad that I was able to have enough established relationship with him that when he did get upset, I was able to calm him down and remove him from the situation without law enforcement becoming involved. I do these hearings called Gwen's Laws hearings, and they're domestic violence hearings. And what it allows is the defendant is held in custody without bond until he has a hearing in front of a judge. I call the victim, I interview the victim, I ask them questions such as how long have you been together? Has this ever happened before? Do you share any children? And these questions are very pertinent because sometimes my victims tell me, well, he's the sole provider. I need him out of jail. I made a mistake. It's my fault. And it's my job as the victim witness coordinator to empower my victims and give them a sense of worth, a sense of self-worth, and to let them know that they can make it without the defendant. That's one of my most rewarding part of my jobs, but it's also the most difficult because sometimes people are conditioned to be a certain way for many years. And me coming in, over the phone, trying to empower them is such a challenge, but I love it because it's rewarding.